Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to another session of playing Codingame. Yeah, sorry. You can't probably hear me. My microphone is too far away. So, last time I was stuck at this Thor example and I gave up foolishly. Foolishly not, but you know, the thing we forgot is, of course, updating Thor's coordinates after he's made a step towards the light. So, so we need to update the coordinates. Light doesn't move, Thor moves. So one move is return this. So, and then we will have movement is a dictionary of basically these values, these keys, and then it'll have some some pairs. So if Thor moves north, Thor X will update by 0 and Thor Y will decrease by 1. If it's south, it will be 0, 1. If it's east, moving east, then it will be 1, 0. If it's west, that will be -1, 0. Northeast, it will be -1, -1. Northwest will be 1, -1. Southeast should be 1, 1. Southwest will be 1, -1, 1. Okay, so we should have this. Movement. So after he moves, we should direction equals move, and whatever move he made, we will now update Thor's initial coordinates. Initial Thor x, initial Thor y, equals or plus direction and north, so that's the x coordinate, y coordinate, x coordinate, x coordinate, y coordinate, x coordinate, y coordinate. Northeast is x and y, x and y minus 1. Northwest, I think it's good. So let's test it. Try again. Light position. It was the wrong answer in easy angle. Give information. Standard output stream was to move southwest. Key error WS. That's right, movement. Okay, try again. Key error SW. On line 47. It should have the Key error. That's strange. So there is a debugging output. And it seems, that's why I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What? 9. Okay, 9 is too much. It should be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. So that was the thing. Okay, let's test again. Too many values to unpack. Really too many values to unpack. it expected to unpack two values. Print file sysctr. Let's print a debugging output here. Oh great, now I want a beer at 9 in the morning. Hello games. Yeah. It's now, it's 6 in the evening now, 5:30. Here. And let me write a test here. What if I have something like a tuple 1, 2 plus minus 1, 1 to the standard error as a debugging thing? What will we get? We will get the answer. Oh. Okay, how do you actually count these? So adding this plus this actually gives you a 4 value tuple. 4 tuple. I need, or maybe I need not tuples but lists. Let me check. Hello Adam. Yeah, I'm glad you like these. So how do you do arrays? Python add vectors. If you have A and B, and now I want the result 357 exactly. I usually end up doing like this, yeah, update. A, B, map sum. Ah. X plus epsilon for x plus y for xy in zip AB should only work if the same size. Okay, map sum zip, it seems. Map sum zip. Do you have much experience with programming? Well, I'm not a professional programmer, but I'm an enthusiast. Yeah, I know my way around loops and classes and some functions. What I didn't do much use of, what I didn't make much use of was class inheritance yet. Well, but yeah, I'm reasonably, I can find a solution for most things I want to do. Yes, I actually know some C# now because I've been programming in C# at work for the last couple of days, or since Monday actually. Since Monday, I am focusing on automating some reports we make. We make some test reports, and our test manager is gathering several pieces of information and putting them together in a Word document. So I thought, hey, we could automate this. Well, actually, somebody else showed us how they do it for their project, and so I was looking at it, and so okay, we could do it for our project as well. So now the guy who wrote it for the other project is now working with me, and we are programming an automation for report making. Basically, it's very trivial. It's replacing some placeholders in a Word document, and reading some data from XML files, and yeah, not much more than that, and some user interface around it. And I do that in C#. So I had my prejudice against C#, but now that I have programmed in it, it fits okay. It's just a pity that they want so much money for the Visual Studio SDK to code there and compile it. Even if we wouldn't use the SDK of C#, the Visual Studio, we still would need to pay some licensing fees for the compiler, and boy, is that expensive. Like myself, I have installed Visual Studio to just learn some C++, and I did it like 1 or 2 sessions with C++ programming, and then 90 days was over, and now it wants me to pay some license. I don't think so. Well, so at work now, I installed something to the Visual Studio to program in C#. I see the differences to C++. I mean, C# feels nothing like C++. But yeah, it's still nice. You could learn C# for free with Unity. Well, and do you get a free compiler to use and do stuff? I guess Unity is probably a lot of C# thing, and it's probably a free license. But yeah, it's a special thing, Unity. Not sure whether I would like to. Well, sort of. I don't know what the license costs actually, but for professional use, it's something like 300. I just don't know whether it's 300 per year or per month. Visual Studio Professional. Even if it would be 300 per year, it would be quite a lot. Are you aware there's a free version? Yes, I'm aware that there is a free version of Visual Studio, but it's really cut down to the very basics, and you are missing a lot of quite nice features actually. Having worked with the professional version in trial mode of Visual Studio, I really, well, I'm really experiencing a lot of fancy features, and the coworker who has been working with the free version up to now, he said, "Wow, that's quite a big difference to the professional Visual Studio version." It doesn't. It can't do much more in terms of programming, but the user comfort is really nice. It gives you hints here and there and does things for you, especially if you have to rename variables throughout things, and it's really user friendly. Well, anyway, we are about to add vectors. So vectors is, where is my coding game? Here, yeah. Right, so let's have these vectors as tuples, and let's use what they say here. Map some zip, and instead of A, B, we will have this, and try. Ha! Map object. Well, yeah. Okay, map object. For x in map some zip, print x Okay, it needs a colon or something. Ah, okay, so it got 03. 03 is this. But how do you get... How do you make it a tuple then? From iter tools import izip. Can I import izip here? And then I do just map some izip. Will it do? Damn it, they don't allow you to import iter tools. You say, why don't you learn C#? I don't know why I call it C#. C# with Unity and stream it. Well, I don't know. Why don't I? Any suggestions what I should do in Unity and C#? Coding in Unity for the absolute beginner. Well, and what sort of SDK is that? They want 200 euros for a license of Visual Studio. Because even in Unity, even with Unity, you would probably prefer the Visual Studio IDE. Or what sort of IDE are they using here? Yeah, they use a compiler. Yeah, okay. Well, I have. Okay, so they use a compiler. Okay, all I need basically is a compiler. I have IDE with UltraEdit. Basically, it's a pretty good IDE. I like UltraEdit a lot. This is my thing. It has really nice features. So if I would go the way without IDE, I'd probably use UltraEdit as my IDE. Just need a compiler. And what does a compiler cost? What does a compiler of C# cost? But C# is not C++, right? I'd rather want to learn C++ than C#. So we could be working in Unity. I'm not interested in that. Unity 2D. We could make Unity graphics, physics. Networking could be interesting. But networking is hell of a job. Programming, networking, scripting. Well, I know better languages for scripting than audio. I'm not interested. Animation, not so much interested. Timeline, note. UI, well, yeah. Navigation, virtual reality. Okay, nothing. I see a big pile of nothing. I don't see why I should download a big engine of which I'd use only the compiler. Isn't there a free C# compiler? Or I don't even need. I mean, C# I know. I've become familiar with C#. It's neat and easy, but I still feel like I could use some fundamentals in C++ rather than C#. You know, Unity is a game engine. I'm not really interested in programming games. I'm interested in doing some UI things, but much more in Windows environment, you know, like really have some controls and buttons and fields to do and control your software. Like UI programming, yes, but not a game UI, an actual Windows UI. I want to learn how do I program resizable, non-resizable, always floating over, always focused windows, status bars in Windows, keyboard shortcuts in Windows, icon bars, and what all sorts of things these Windows user interface elements can provide. That, and how do I program software which gets its own task symbol, and how do I program context menus. Oh, this is actually a very nice context menu here where you can actually set up and have some dialogue things, but I think that's a Java thing, that's a Java feature. It's not really a Windows native user interface, but yeah, you know, so these sort of things, this I can see as a valuable lesson which I would be more than happy to learn. But I don't see this in this Unity in this Unity environment. Unity is all about games, or mobile games, or whatever. And really having programming Windows things is much about C#, the pure C# with MSDN libraries and MSDN and .NET. This .NET crap which you have to use whether you want it or not. Yeah. Mono project. Somebody of you suggested a Mono project. It's a C# compiler, feature complete, and has partial support for C#7. But you know, you have all the comfort of including libraries. I don't see if I have like a C# compiler, library and package management can be quite a chore, is it not? So I can see there is a free Visual Studio, yes. Everything you need to create grapes. That's a lie. That's probably the bare minimum you have to have if you want to create apps. It will suck, but it's free. I guess we should read it like this, because everything you need is more like, I think Visual Studio Professional version seems like it's what I would want to have if I program in C#. I have no idea how they manage packages. I have seen in the professional version of Visual Studio, I was coding and so suddenly the hint came, okay, you want to do this? Oh, you're probably missing this library, so you should use uses system or uses Office interop Word library. Okay, I said, okay, I don't have Office interop Word library. Where do I get it? Yeah, in the package management. Just check this checkbox and it will be installed for you. Okay, I did it. It was there. I could use it in a couple of seconds. So I don't see all this feature with me programming in Ultra Edit and having some sort of a compiler. So compiler will just tell, oh, can't compile, missing library. And then I would have the responsibility to download the library myself, extract it, and somehow implement or that's what's holding me back from installing it at home. And who are we kidding, right? There is a new version of Visual Studio every year, probably. Oh, well, maybe not every year, but 2017 is the Visual Studio Professional free trial. Actually, I have it. I have Visual Studio 2013. Okay. Visual Studio 2013, and if I start it, it says 30-day trial has expired. Pay or leave. You know, I don't know, 200 euros is a lot. 200 euros is a lot. There's a community. Community is probably for, I don't know, but professional looks like choice. What are you linking here? Visual Studio 2017. Well, everyone can download Visual Studio 2017 and have their trial. You know, I wouldn't dare to do something illegal here. You never know when these software are going to call home and spoil you the fun. Yeah, I see. That's not a trial. It looked like it has some sort of key and stuff, but you know. I'm actually happy that I have everything legal on my computer. Nothing shady. Well, you know, the problem is not spending 200 euros for a license. The problem is spending 200 euros and not using it. The same with games. I don't mind spending a lot of money on a game I really enjoy and play a lot of the time, like Dwarf Fortress. But I do mind spending money, even if it's just 5 euros or 10 euros, for a game I don't enjoy and don't play. So spending 200 for something I would do, I don't know how often. How often would I actually do something in Visual Studio? That's what I have to figure out, and whether it actually pays off for me, whether I'll have enough fun for it to pay $200 for it. That's the question I'm now figuring out in my mind. And I'm such elitist that I wouldn't really want to struggle with the free version. I'd feel like I'm robbed of some features which were always supposed to be there. They are just, you know, not, they are just absent and missing, just for you to make you want to pay the extra for the professional. That's the free version is not to help people adopt C#. It's people who depend on C# make them want to pay for the professional version. That's a pure marketing strategy. That's not a good-hearted offer to give you a free version of something useful. So was that Budweiser? No, it's Pilsner. It's Czech beer. Also, there are alternatives to Visual Studio that are good. Yeah, as I said, alternatives. As for IDE, I would very much enjoy using the Ultra Edit for it, because it's really a powerful editor. It can do stuff like this. Yeah, show me another editor who can do that. That's I'm afraid of what if I will be in need of extra packages? Where will I get them? And what would I even want to program in there? So what did you say, this mono thing? What was that mono thing you suggested earlier? It looks like something I could try. Mono develop. MonoDevelop is a cross-platform IDE for C#. Okay, that's just an IDE. But does it come with a compiler? And it's for Mac. Blah. What is a GTK? GTK Sharp? Oh, GTK, isn't that the... Oh, I think I know what that is. Yeah, that's the toolkit. I have such a bad experience with toolkit. It looked so awful years ago when I had to use it. I have grown a good amount, a healthy hatred against toolkit. Oh, MonoDevelop is also known as Xamarin. Ah, I've heard about Xamarin. It's primary that use Mono and Net. What is Mono? Is a .NET Framework compatible set of tools, including a C#? C#, C#, I don't know why I keep saying C#, including a C# compiler and a common language runtime. I have no idea what that is. Oh, Mono is Spanish for monkey, okay. Okay. Looks like I could try Mono if it's for free. But does it do stuff like UI programming in Oh, I can't uninstall Visual Studio Community. Why can't I uninstall Visual Studio Community? You see, try code blocks. C, C++, and Fortran IDE. Does it come with a compiler? Well, that's not C#, however, is it? Just C++. And I really like the ease with which you can program a Windows-like user interface in C#. I don't think you can do it with such ease in C++. Or can you? In C++ you can have your application in C++ if you want, but then you have to still use .NET and C# for your user interface if you wanted Windows-like. Or maybe .NET is just for other things. I don't know. I have no idea. Oh, we could get the .NET Framework SDK, and with that we'd have a C# compiler, it seems. But it's like super old, isn't it? (2006). Are you serious? Now we do have .NET 4.6. And build an application using the .NET framework using either Visual Studio 15.13 or any third-party IDEs. I've got a .NET 4.5.1 SDK installed. So in theory, I should have all I need to write C# code. I'd have to just find somehow a path to the compiler. Should be something about compiling here. I don't know, guys. It's just that I feel like I have not much need to really develop any applications, you know. I do it for work, at work where I have a license, but at home I don't see myself programming. I have enough to do with my Arduino projects and all other projects. I don't need to spend additional time here and code something. So why does this not work here? Okay, it doesn't work because it doesn't have izip. Okay. Ah, a list map. Okay. Okay, so we have to create. What kind of app are you going to make? That's the point. I'm not going to make any app. That's why I don't see much incentive in investing $200 in a Visual Studio. Okay, so now I've got the it's list map sum zip. Oh boy. List map sum zip is what I need to actually add a vector, and I guess I will need okay, so wait, now we have we can comment this out. List map sum zip 03 is the output of this. And what if I say print something like a vector like 1 1 plus 2 3, what will it print? Oh, but I can maybe Yeah, this is good. This is good. This is working good. We have made it to the light. I'm confident it will solve all the test cases now. Ah! So loud. Okay, we have solved the riddle. Optimization multi-agent neural network. Practice. Temperatures. Ooh, arrays, loops and conditions. ASCII art. Let's do some ASCII art thing. Manage strings and array arithmetics. You will know how to split a string into separate parts and concatenate them into a new one. Yes, 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 you can use indexes and arrays. Yeah, wonderful, ASCII art. Yeah, let's do that next. Let's do that next in our next session. I will just take a short break, have a dinner, and then I'll put up another stream. I'll see you then.